Welcome to Chase Knowledge, where we learn everything we wished we learned in school, with today's video on Aristotle's top tip for success. His quote reads, "We are what we repeatedly do. Success then is not an act, but a habit." This quote focuses on the power of habit. You must understand habits in order to achieve success. Aristotle knew a long time ago what modern science is rediscovering: the power of habit and how much it influences our life. Before we use habit for our success, we have to understand its components. All habits are broken up into three phases: the cue, the routine, and the reward. The cue is what triggers the habit to start. The routine is the action or set of actions you take after the cue. The reward is the pleasure you get after completing the routine. This combination of events, when placed in this sequential order, creates a habit. But maybe it's easier if we look at it using our own life as an example. Waking up and snoozing your alarm clock is a habit. Notice that you don't even think of it. Your alarm goes off, you look at your phone, hit the snooze button, and get rewarded with more sleep. Getting ready in the morning. You get out of bed, take a shower, put on your clothes, and drive off. Your reward is getting to your location on time. Notice how most of the time you don't have to think about any part of this. Maybe you thought about what clothes to wear, but that's because your choice of clothing is a minor variable, but the structure is still the same. Remember the first time you backed out the car? It took a lot of effort, but now you don't even think about it. All of our entertainment stems from habits. Our eating comes from habits. Even our relationships are dictated by our habits. Our habits are everywhere, so we need to know how to create good ones and kill the bad ones. And it helps to know why we have habits in the first place. The reason we have habits is because our brain is lazy. Not in the sense of lazy that we are used to. The brain is processing so much information that it has to automate. The cue, routine, and reward, when repeated in this sequence, that's what triggers the brain to automate that set and turn it into a habit. Think back to the first time you backed out a car. Because you hadn't backed out the car before, it took a lot of focus. It was new, so you were unable to automate it. But after you repeated the cue, routine, and reward, it was compacted into a habit, completely automated, so now when you back out, you can be thinking about something else and still back out just fine. It's all related to our conscious and subconscious. The conscious can only focus on one thing at a time, where the subconscious has the ability to do thousands of different things at the same time. Now, the best way to change a bad habit into a good one is to substitute the routine. It's hard to change the cue and the reward, whereas the routine is much easier to substitute. For example, if your current habit is getting home, playing video games, with the reward being the mindless enjoyment of video games, change it to getting home, read for 15 minutes, play video games as the reward. Keep this up over time, and soon you will have to read before you play video games. That's turning a bad habit into a good one. You have to substitute your routine out if you want to change your bad habits into good ones. Sadly, most of our habits are bad habits, but now that you know what makes up a habit, you can audit your life and locate all your negative habits and change them. Make sure your habits are in line with your goals. If our success lies in our habits, then it is up to us to create and manage our habits so that success is inevitable. Never forget, we are what we repeatedly do. Success then is not an act, but a habit. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you in the next video.